see him being the ring announcer again. It's been a while.
Yeah, if you've been around Idaho MMA, you might remember Aaron Luna from about 10 or 12 years ago. He used to sport a mohawk, but he announced all our cards locally. It's great to see him back. There's Brandon making his way to the cage with Coach Ben. I will say, when I met Brandon and he told me he fought at 135 pounds, I told him I didn't believe him. That man's got a lot of muscle crammed into 135 pounds.
It's a big 35er.
Yeah. Long, too.
He also seems to have quite the reach on him.
Yeah, he does.
We're back to the Winter Warrior rule set, so he does have the...
And then soon we'll have Cowboy Keene. Josh will be making his way to the cage, our only Winter Warrior veteran. Good, the bad, and the ugly. All right.
Suits him. Absolutely suits him.
Might be my favorite entrance music thus far.
Coming out in the cowboy hat and the American flag.
Playing to the Idaho crowd. Touches put on him. He's got Coach Jake Martinez and a coach from SBG. Honest, I don't recognize, but I saw him at weigh-ins yesterday, and he clearly knew what he was talking about.
I believe this is our first out-of-state athlete to come into the event.
Pretty exciting stuff. And Cowboy Keene makes his entrance.
Couple 135-pounders. I expect fireworks from this whole match.
Never a boring fight in this division, Cameron. Gun Show's an also a pretty awesome nickname.
Boxer, interesting. Going to be looking to do more stand-up. However, he does train out of SBG Portland. They have a very, very deep jiu-jitsu program.
That is where it all started for the SBG organization.
HQ.
We might have a classic grappler versus striker match on our hands. We'll see.
I can only hope. From what I've seen of Brandon's training, he seems to be just as comfortable standing as well.
And here we go. Fourth fight of the night.
Clinch early, taking away that distance and the punches.
Looking for the early takedown. Oh, guillotine.
Oh. Gets the single leg, passing right into side control.
Fantastic takedown.
It's a little bit of a guillotine, but it's not as dangerous from here.
No, it's actually more dangerous.
He's gonna shoot again.
And he's back up.
Watch for that guillotine. Big takedown and slam by
right back down.
Brandon, excuse me.
And if Keene holds that guillotine, he might be susceptible to a Von Flue choke. Oh, Brandon's cleared the choke.
Josh is also looking to get to a hip to get that needed elbow back.
Landing a few shots from on top. Appears to be looking for the mount.
Brandon's going to need to look to advance that position. Either go to a knee on belly or mount, just like he just did.
And he's posturing up immediately.
And it postures up, looking to strike. Good job by Josh, taking away that posture.
Oh, little back of the head there. Strong mount from Brandon.
Josh can't hang out there. He's got to get out from that mount.
No.
Works his way out.
Back to side control. Wow, his ground game does look very fluid. Transitioning seamlessly. Oh, regard attempt there by Cowboy. Brandon's trying to clear the knee.
Brandon's keeping good shoulder pressure.
Cowboy's got a decent frame. Oh, Cowboys doing a good job moving. He hasn't managed to regain position, but he's not just laying there. He's staying active.
He's got that opportunity to get that knee on belly or go straight to a mount.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more damage from Brandon. It's an excellent, side control is such a dominant position, but remember, I mean, this is the hurt game, so let's throw some shots in there.
He's doing a great job of controlling, but again, it's not a finishing position to where he's at. He needs to look to either go for the submission or get active with the strikes. And to do that, he needs to advance that position a bit.
Well, and if you're going to make a man carry your weight and use that top pressure, might as well beat up the body and beat up the head a little. Cowboy using a good job trying to get himself against the cage. Brandon with a strong mount.
Brandon back to mount.
Cowboy needs to give up that guillotine attempt. That's not going to get him anything.
There's nothing there with that guillotine.
Non-mount. That's a good idea in full guard.
Gets busy with the strikes.
Josh looking to regain his guard.
Overhook with your left arm.
Brandon just kind of hanging out, 10 seconds.
End of the round, I think we'll see it just go to the end of this position.
Couple shots on top from Brandon. That's a clear win for Brandon, I think, in that round.
10-9 Brandon, I would say.
I agree. Definitely not a 10-8.
Doing a good job looking for his opportunities to advance from that side control.
I was really impressed with his patience. I mean,
Very patient. He didn't just settle in.
No.
Good pressure though, very strong on top.
And as much as I've been singing the praises of doing damage while on top, you of course don't want that damage to come at the expense of giving up the position. And he did a great job maintaining side control and eventually the mount.
Josh was blocking out some of those passes with that knee to elbow.
He was very active on bottom. He definitely was not trying to settle in that position.
I could see Josh listening to his coaches and doing exactly what they were telling him, listening to instructions, very specific. That he was mitigating as much of that damage as possible.
I agree. And the coaches are making their way out of the cage, and second fight in a row where we get a round two.
This fight being refereed by an angry Adam Levine.
Are those low?
Interesting, yes, they are.
Interesting choice, ref.
Possibly moccasins. Josh definitely seems more comfortable on his feet.
Yeah,
measuring that jab.
And he's coming right at him, keeping his hands up, moving his head a little.
Long hook.
Good kick, followed by a straight right. Has Brandon thrown a strike yet?
I don't believe so.
Oh, there's a jab.
Pulling out a jab.
Control that distance.
He's pulling away from that jab well. He's measuring it.
Another good kick from Josh. Good jab.
I wonder if Josh is measuring his opportunity to get another takedown. He seemed very comfortable on the ground.
All right, well, he's coming right at him. Oh, good right hand there. Josh seemed a little rattled from that.
Good footwork by Josh.
Yes. His fundamentals are very strong in this department.
He's circling well. He's finding his angles.
He's keeping his chin protected the whole time.
He's keeping his head off center. He's moving it left. He's moving it right. He's not keeping it in one spot for Brandon to throw at.
Well, he's doing, as we just saw there, he's throwing multiple shots at a time, which is why that two landed that straight right.
And Brandon's head is not coming off center. He's keeping it right in the same spot.
And he's only throwing one strike at a time, and these are just fundamentals there that you never want to be one at a time.
Josh is definitely controlling the ring as well. I think he's putting Brandon in the places where he wants instead of being pushed around by Brandon.
And Josh might not be doing a ton of damage in this round, but he's clearly controlling this. Ooh, good, as I say that, great kick from Brandon. Another one.
Yeah, those both seem to hurt him.
Yeah, good thud there.
Again, even with shin pads, those leg kicks hurt.
And Brandon immediately looking for that single.
Finally closed the distance, got it against the cage. He's going to look to get
Josh
it to the ground
with
again.
Josh with some excellent shots to Brandon's face.
Some peppering shots, maybe more to occupy what's going on rather than do significant damage.
Brandon looks like he's thinking about transitioning to the double. I'd recommend the single, try to run the pipe here. I've already got it locked up.
Reaching over for the double.
And oh, Josh looked to be elevated there for a moment. He's back on the, oh. But once again, this is just so exhausting, this grind against the fence like this. Good knee there from Brandon, good shots from Josh.
When Brandon commits to this double leg, he's really leaving himself open for a guillotine. Josh doesn't seem to see it, but I have my concerns.
I agree. Well, a double leg or a single, much like any other technique, if you hold on too long, just like anything else, timing is so important in this sport.
And Brandon is spending a lot of energy on this takedown for the entire last about minute of this fight.
And a takedown he didn't get, which this is somewhat controversial, but a failed takedown is exactly that. It's a failed technique. I don't think that should earn you any points on the judges' scorecard.
To me, that's a round for Josh.
I agree. I think we have a 1-1.
He controlled the cage better. He was more precise with his strikes. He was more active with his strikes. He showed good defense against the cage.
I agree.
would say that's 1 round for Josh.
I agree. This is anybody's fight going into round 3. And I think round 2 was closer than round 1.
Agreed.
So if I'm in Josh's corner, I think you got to go all out. And I'm curious about Brandon's fatigue because I didn't like how he looked at the end of that round, breathing heavy on that takedown attempt.
I think the fatigue is a big time on that takedown, and he's breathing really in the corner right now. It's going to be interesting to see how his strategy adapts for this third. Put a lot of effort into that takedown, or if he's going to get into more exchanges with Josh.
Well, and if Brandon is doing an excellent job elevating one leg, you might look for a trip or something along those lines. So much muscle and effort, because he's doing a good job elevating, or did a good job elevating Josh in that last round.
To finish.
I agree. Touch, oh, yep, touch of the gloves. There we go. Good sportsman. Good shot.
Good jab by Josh. And across.
Good kick there by Brandon.
Exchange of leg kicks.
Another kick by Brandon. Josh with a good right earlier, I missed.
Kick to the body from Brandon. Again, Josh is controlling the cage very well. Great footwork.
Brandon appears to be more active this round.
Seems to be more content with exchanging.
Yep.
I think he knows he's going to have to let his hands go a little bit to set up those shots to mitigate a certain amounts of Josh's striking.
Well, and it seems as though holding Josh against the fence is a cornerstone of his takedown strategy. And then we see Josh just reversed the position. Now it's Brandon against the fence.
Foot stomp. Knee to the leg. It's going to take a certain amount of that power away from Brandon's shots.
Now they're in a position that's actually a little difficult for us to see at the moment. Oh, Brandon with a very strong maneuver in the clinch. Nearly just muscled him down.
Looking for that single leg again.
Wow, in a fight that could go either direction. What a close third round.
He's elevating again, but again, putting a lot of time and effort into these takedowns. If he doesn't finish this, he's going to expend so much energy.
And he's getting dangerously close to that guillotine, like you mentioned, Cameron. I don't know if Josh's hands are in the right position, but a simple adjustment, and they could be.
His corner is calling for the takedown. Clearly there's a plan. Josh's takedown defense is really getting better as this fight goes on.
Well, he's doing an excellent job using the fence to his advantage, using that underhook there. And Brandon drives him right into the opposite fence.
Good sprawl all the way to the cage.
Brandon is getting closer and closer on that takedown. Josh widening his base. Come on, ref, they're fighting.
Break up there.
I completely disagree with that. They were working.
The distance is going to seem to probably favor Josh with his striking. Brandon's going to have to work to get that clinch again.
You know, I am really impressed with Josh's left hook. He throws a mean left hook.
Boy, we can hear it every time it lands.
And good one to the body.
Nice.
More of that. Brandon took a big puff and win. Couple big jabs there. Brandon's takedown game is devolving into kind of just running at Josh into the fence, into an exhausting position.
A desperate attempt to close that distance. Again, a lot of energy expended on this takedown.
I think that's another round for Josh.
I think so too.
I think that's 29-28 to the SBG Portland member.
I agree.
No disrespect to
First
Brandon,
round to
heck of
Brandon.
a fight.
Rounds 2 and 3 to Josh.
I agree. Brandon carried himself well, but I think the fight was fought more on Josh's terms.
Brandon seemed to have a very one-dimensional plan, whereas Josh was prepared for striking, for the cage control, and out in the center, he really controlled the footwork far better.
Well, I think that's a sign of someone who's really committed to striking as a strategy. It's easy to be a striker when someone wants to play that game with you. But when you have to defend takedowns, get back up, work off the cage, and then throw your devastating strikes, it's a whole different ball game you're dealing with, and much more exhausting. And that's really when you see the strikers who understand that being a striker also means getting back to your feet, working on your cage defense, working on that single leg defense, etc.
Absolutely, putting the game together well, and he did a fantastic job listening to his coach's instructions.
I agree.
We're going to another judge's decision here. It'll be interesting to see how they score this one, if they saw the same things that we were looking at, or maybe they have a different perception of some of that aggression from Brandon.
Well, we were a bit surprised at the 10-8 card that got turned in last time. So.
That's a head scratcher to me.
Seems like MMA is going through an interesting tradition where you used to have to like damn near kill someone to get a 10-8, and now they're throwing out 10-8s and 10-7s like they're candy.
Interesting. The job of being a judge is just a constantly evolving, subjective, objective monster. I don't envy their position. Paul is blowing kisses to some of the coaches on the blue corner.
Coach Ben's getting a little flirty.
The beard does look good.
Yeah, he looks sharp. Got to say, I love Freddie's outfit too. Coaches came looking their best. Now it looks like that decision's just about ready. This must be so agonizing for the fighters.
Boy, I'm anxious waiting to see how this decision goes. I can't imagine how these guys feel.
And here we are. We have Aaron Luna announcing. Oh, Luna's making his way to the cage.
Decision on our hands.
Excellent. Wow.
Some judges really favor that pressure and aggression. Even though he's not advancing his position against the cage, he is controlling the fight to a degree. So I can see how some judges would point that a little bit higher than some of what happens out in the open.
Well, let's make it clear that my interpretation of a failed takedown should be counted as a failed technique. It's just that. It's my interpretation.
Sure.
That is by no means the law.
I wouldn't say it's wrong either.
No, I agree. But you're completely correct. That cage position is really holding someone against the cage is the equivalent of being on top. And for years in MMA, we saw judges totally ignoring what the guy on bottom did as long as you had that top position.
Absolutely. It's all about